Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the School of Administration. My name is Bevan Hlumelo, and I am the Principal Consultant at New Gates Ministry Consult. I'm so excited to be connecting with you guys today as we continue with our series, which is on utilizing church resources. And the teaching that we've been doing in the past weeks, in the past week, we've been doing a teaching on people and technology. So this is part 2 of people and technology. We're trying to establish the best way that people in church, people within the church, the ministers, the workers are going to, position themselves to best use technology. So this is something that is very relevant, not just for the season that we're in, but relevant for where we are going in the future, because technology is going to be playing a huge role in how we do ministry. So without wasting any time, let's get on it. So remember, it's a series on utilizing church resources, and the main teaching that we're having is people and technology, and this is part 2 of it. So what it means is, if you did not get to listen to the first teaching on this, please find a way of connecting with us so that we can be able to link you to this teaching. You can just scroll down our page if you're watching this on the Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can still do the same. You can just scroll down or through our videos and you will find it. It's definitely part of this playlist. If you are actually listening to this as an audio, please find a way of getting in touch with us so that we can be able to make available to you the other audio for the people and technology teaching. So one of the things that is important to make an emphasis of is that you can use digital technology to sustain and grow your ministry. This is something that every leader and every pastor should have, straightened up in their minds, that technology is actually very sufficient. Digital technology is sufficient to help you to sustain and grow your ministry. And last week, we did our best to try to help you appreciate and understand the way that people and technology get to function together to ensure that the work that is being done in the church, which is the work of ministry, gets to be done in the most effective way. And one of the things that we emphasized last week as a challenge that most churches struggle with is the challenge of digital illiteracy. So many church workers, so many pastors are not digitally literate. They're not digitally literate. They struggle with understanding how technology works. They struggle to understand how gadgets work. So it's very important for you to always work around finding a way of you, if you are a pastor or a leader, you and your team understanding how technology works and how best you can be able to make use of it specifically for the work of ministry, to attain your vision and to attain the mission that you have been set for. So when it comes to building digital literacy, in relation with building literacy towards people, it's very important that you find ways of training your staff and training your volunteers to understand how they can use technology in the way that they do their works, right? No matter what section of ministry they are involved in, you are supposed to find a way of training your staff and training your volunteers to know how to make use of technology in those different sections or in those different functions. And one of the things that's important, as well as we're talking about training your staff and your volunteers, is not just to train them to have the know-how of using technology, but also train them to know how to think in terms of making use of technology or thinking of technology as a solution. It's what we call innovative, creative thinking. You need to train your staff, train your volunteers to have that mindset of thinking of technology as a solution to, how they can solve efficiency problems, particularly when you have efficiency problems, where you have process issues, where you have challenges with getting the work done in the rightful way or getting the work done in the rightful time. You need to find ways of training your people to have that innovative, creative thinking mindset so that they can be able to think tech when they have a problem. And when it comes to training people as well, it's not only the service providers, which are the ones who are ministering, that is your staff or the people that are actually doing the background work of ministry or volunteers, etc. It's not only those that are supposed to be built up in terms of appreciating how technology works and how they can best use it, but it's also important for you to engage your congregation. Engage your congregation to do three things: to accept technology, to attempt to use technology, and to appreciate how technology is actually working well for them in terms of how they are being discipled, how they are being reached or engaged, etc. You as the church leaders, you need to find a way of engaging your congregation, because if you don't work on engaging your congregation, that's where it's easy for them to reject whatever you're trying to bring to them and say, this is a platform, this is a software, this is an app, or whatever technology that you're trying to introduce them to. They will not accept it because no one has engaged them to accept it. So you engage them to accept even to accept the fact that most of what you're going to do in the work of ministry has to do with technology, one way or another. To have them accept that is something that is important, because that's the foundational part of making them connect to what you're doing in terms of using technology. You also have to engage them so that they can attempt to make use of the technology you're introducing them to. So suppose you're introducing a platform where you get, content, content for discipleship, content for whatever that is, helping the congregation to grow or to build up. If you're introducing such a platform to them, you need to engage them to find a way of at least attempting to use it, attempting to make use of that platform. Because in as much as they would have accepted the technology, attempting it usually takes a great stride. So you need to engage them, push them a little bit gently, a gentle nudge as you engage them, so that they can be able to at least attempt to use that technology. So you'd realize that as you nudge them to attempt to use the technology, one way or another, they will be able to start using it and start engaging with it. And before you know it, they are used to it and they are actually getting, value from it. Now, the moment you identify those who are getting value from whatever tech platform that you are using, you need to help them or engage them to express their appreciation of that technology. Whether it makes things easier for them, whether it makes things, more convenient for them, what's important for you is to find a way of engaging them to appreciate, to express their appreciation of that technology, more of a testimony of some sort, so that they can also encourage other people to take things from the onset, accept it, to attempt it, and in the process, as well as they get used to it, they'll also then get to appreciate, express their appreciation, and more people will get to connect and make use of that technology. I hope you got that point. We're talking of dealing with the issue of digital illiteracy, whereby with your staff, with your people in the organization, in the church organization, your team and your volunteers, you need to train them. You need to train them, and you need to make sure that as you train them, you go through these three elements as well: helping them accept it, helping them attempt it, helping them appreciate it. But mostly for your congregation, those three elements are important. Engage them to accept the technology, engage them to attempt to use the technology, and when they are used to it, engage them to express their appreciation of the technology. In terms of the technology in itself, you need to make sure that you do assessments before introducing anything. Before you introduce any particular platform, software, infrastructure of technology, you need to make an assessment of your ministry needs, your ministry requirements. You need to have clarity of what you want to attain, what you want to achieve. You need to have clarity of what your vision and your goals are, so that at the end of the day, whatever you identify as some form of technology that you would want to make use of, it's going to be a platform, a gadget infrastructure that is going to contribute positively towards the accomplishment of what you want to achieve. Because remember, we said last week that people do the work of ministry, but what technology comes to do is to actually enable efficiency. Technology comes to bring efficiency in how people do the work of ministry. So you need to have an assessment and clarity of what you need to achieve, so that you know what you need technology to enable the people as they do the work of ministry in pursuit of attaining what God would have set for you as targets to accomplish in a particular period of time. So these two areas, really, people and technology, are crucial to actually you doing a background work. You have to do a background work where it relates to people, a background work where it relates to that technology that you're going to use, so that you are going to start off at the right footing. So this is in dealing with one of the biggest challenges that most church organizations struggle with, and that's digital illiteracy. Now, last session, we emphasized and brought to your attention that people and technology can best relate together when processes are a part of the whole combination. If you only have people who are going to do the work of ministry, and you have technology that is going to enable efficiency in how the work is going to be done, you don't have the complete picture of what you want in the solution of technology. What you would need at the end of the day is processes, because processes become the bridge between technology and people. Processes become the flow of how the work is going to be done. It becomes the step-by-step guide of how the work is going to be done. Processes express the procedures that you're going to go through as you do the work of ministry. So when technology comes, it's going to enable the process that has already been established, and enable people to find the process convenient to flow through. At the end of the day, the combination of these three elements will bring in the results that you want. So in most cases, like I emphasized in last session, most churches have people available to do the work of ministry, and they purchase technology that they believe is going to help in enabling people to do the work of ministry. But in many cases, they don't have a defined process of how they want the work to be done, despite having the technology. So that's why last week I emphasized that today we are going to be dealing with the aspect of utilizing tools for ministry. We're going to be focusing on the idea of utilizing tools for ministry. Now, the idea of tools, because most people would assume the moment we're mentioning tools, we're already mentioning something that is extremely modern. But the truth of the matter is a tool, the idea of a tool is not something that is new. It's not foreign to the church. It's not foreign to any industry. When we're talking about utilizing tools for ministry, I want you to appreciate that there are two categories of tools. There are traditional tools and there are modern tools. A good example of a traditional tool, and by traditional, I don't mean it's irrelevant now. Still very relevant, but a good example of a traditional tool for ministry definitely is the church building. Your church building, the church building, that we have as a church, as in our church, that building is an example of a traditional tool for ministry. Why are we saying the church building is a tool? Because the ministers, the leaders of the church would use the building to help them do the work of ministry. For example, if they wanted to gather people and preach to them, they would gather people in the building and preach to them whilst they are in that building. If they wanted to disciple people, they would use a section of that building midweek or whenever to do, Bible study classes, or to do, whatever ministry classes, or any other discipleship or discipleship-focused works that has to be done in order to raise people and take them through the next steps of growth in their spiritual or Christian life. So buildings are a great example of a traditional tool. So the moment you start to see building as tools, right, it helps you to appreciate the fact that tools are not new to the concept of actually doing the work of ministry. The aspect of now us saying modern tools, in most cases, we're talking about digital tools. So that's where we're talking about your gadgets, your laptop, your mobile device. We're talking of even your software, your apps, software on your PCs, on your desktop computers, your apps on your mobile gadgets, etc., etc. All those become digital tools. These are modern tools that you can use for ministry. Now, remember, in this series, we are focusing on utilizing church resources. Now, when it comes to tools as well, one of the big problems that we have in the body of Christ is the failure to utilize tools. Let's look at an example of these traditional tools that we're talking about. Church buildings, in most cases, I have seen in my experience of training pastors and training churches and equipping the church workers, I've seen that most church buildings are underutilized. They are underutilized in the sense that you'd realize a church building is actually made use of once or twice a week. The church gathered finances, resources to build a building. It cost, for argument's sake, it cost $500,000 emalangeni, right? So it's an averagely, okay, small church, right? So they spent $500,000 to build that sanctuary, that building. Now they use that space, they use that building once a week on Sunday for 2 hours or 3 hours, or maybe they use it twice or thrice a week. In combination, all the total hours would be maybe less than 8 hours. So does that sound like that's proper utilization of the building? Certainly not. So that's underutilization of a tool that has been invested in by the church. Same thing happens even with the modern gadgets, modern tools, I mean to say. Your gadgets, most pastors, most church leaders underutilize their gadgets, underutilize their tools. You have an Android phone, and a smartphone, I mean to say, Android phones often just call all smartphones Android phones. You have a smartphone with you, and I want you to just think of how much you make use of all the functions that are on the smartphone as a pastor, as a leader. Do you use all the apps? Do you use all the functionalities? If you don't, that's a clear sign of underutilization of that modern tool. Same thing with the software on your computer. Software that might not be on your computer, but is available on the market for free, even if it's being paid for, but maybe it's really affordable. Are you utilizing those softwares? No. Are you utilizing those apps? No. That's underutilization of tools. So we want to encourage you to really look into your tools, the tools that you have. Look into the tools, all of the tools from a traditional perspective, all the way to the modern tools. Try to see if you are well utilizing your tools. If you're not well utilizing your tools, then this is something that you have to listen to. And definitely, I'm not going to exhaust everything in this session, but I believe that you would have really grasped quite a number of things that will help you think from a better perspective of utilizing church resources. So let's try to help you appreciate this fact once more, the idea of making use of tools. So what digital tools do, these are the modern tools, what they do is that in many cases, they combine the three factors that you need to ensure effective and efficient ministry. Digital tools combine people, they combine technology, and they combine processes. Remember last session and even earlier today, I mentioned that the missing link in how we can get the best out of technology is processes. We have the people available, then we purchase technology or whatever form of technology that would have purchased, but because there's a lack of processes, the challenge that we get is that at the end of the day, that technology quickly becomes redundant. We don't make use of it in time, and before we know it, it's already irrelevant, or the people don't grasp how to use the technology. Why? Because there is a lack of processes. So what digital tools do is that they combine these three factors. They combine the people factor, the technology factor, and the processes factor in this way. You as a church leader, you don't have to find yourself struggling to develop certain skills, for example, for designing. You don't have to now go for a 2-week or 1 month or 3 months course to learn how to design, because there are tools that people have already put in their expertise, they have already put in their skills of knowing how to design, and they've made the process of doing designs convenient and easy for you. So people put in their mind, put in their skills, put in their experience, and then they go on to the point of even making the process easy for you to flow through from the onset of identifying the right images. Why? Because within that tool, they would have free images for you to make use of. What they do, they also give you a list of fonts that you can use that are convenient for you, so that you don't have to struggle to look for the right font for whatever you're designing. They give you even templates of things that are already pre-designed, whereby you just have to replace an image, replace the words, and voila, you have your own design, you have your own proper design. So you have digital tools combining the people and the processes factors, and they also bring in the technology factor by making it available to you, making it properly integrated with several of could be your gadgets, could be whatever platforms that you're using. So they bring in that integration, and at the end of the day, you as a novice, you as an individual, don't struggle to do whatever work you want to do. You don't struggle to become efficient, especially in using technology. Why? Because you have a digital tool that is available for you. So I have a list of some digital tools that I have listed for you that I believe are going to be somehow relevant for you to make use of. And please note, this is not all you can use, but these are some of the tools that I personally often use. And I know so many people who do the work of ministry in these three different sections also make use of. So remember our three sections of ministry. We have before the pulpit ministry, we have pulpit ministry, and we have beyond the pulpit ministry. And we say that under each one of these sections, there is work that needs to be done. And if there's work that needs to be done, definitely there are resources that are required. Part of those resources are people, the teams that you have under each section. But you also can make use of technology or digital tools to also make sure that your teams become efficient in how they do the work of ministry, so that things become convenient for them. So let's go through the list of some of these things, starting off with them before the pulpit ministry. So you have a lot of platforms, or tools rather, that you can make use of before the pulpit. Remember the function of before the pulpit. This is to put things in place, in preparation for what will be done by the pulpit or beyond the pulpit. So before the pulpit, like for example, for those who would want to do some form of design, you can use Canva. Canva is one of the best platforms for you to do graphical designs. You can actually do graphical designs for anything that you can think of, really. Posters, flyers. You can do graphical designs even for social media images. You can do graphical designs for several things, to the extent of even doing video designs as well, using the very same platform. The good part about Canva is that it is free to use. So all you have to do is Google it, access it, create your own account, and already you can start designing. Trust me, the secret behind any one of the tools that I'm going to tell you is you applying yourself. You don't even have to sweat, but at least apply yourself to learn how to use the tools. Because the moment you just consistently practice using the tools, try out new things and explore the tools. Trust me, in a few weeks' time, you will almost be an expert by, testing and practicing using those tools. You become an expert in whatever thing that you'll be doing. Particularly, as an example, designing. I see so many times, so many churches creating a Facebook page, for example, trying to reach out to people, but the designs that they have on that page are screaming, get away from us. Instead of you reaching out to people and bringing in people to be ministered by you through the Facebook page, your images, the way that the page is laid out is screaming, we are not interested in influencing you. So it's important for you to actually make use of these platforms so that you can be able to have some, excellently designed images which are attractive, which are effectively communicating to people and expressing the point that you're trying to make in, say, a post or in the poster that you're designing. So Canva is great. If you want to make use of certain images on Canva, you have dozens of free images on Canva. But if you identify that there are some images that you want to make use of that are not available on Canva, you can actually get free images from Pexels. So Pexels is another platform as well where you get free images and you get free videos from it as well. Second thing that is very important for people who do work before the pulpit is Audacity or Movie Maker for those who want to edit audios or edit videos. So those who do video editing, Movie Maker is a great platform. Those who do audio editing, Audacity is a great platform. Now, remember, this is not just for design teams. I'm presenting this in the context of a pastor even making use of these platforms. So for example, from a pastor's perspective, you have recorded something on your audio gadgets, right? On your phone, you've recorded something, and after recording it, you can, after recording into it, you are recording it and you listen to it, you can hear that, oh, there's something wrong with the sound. It's not as clear as I want it to be. It's not as smooth as, some of the audio clips that I've listened to. Audacity solves your problem. You can actually reduce noise that is in the background. It has that noise reduction function. It has, a function to help you increase the volume of your voice. Suppose your gadget, was sounding very low. If it was sounding very loud, you can actually reduce the sound of your voice. You can edit and work around your audio clip until it's smooth, it's beautiful. And when you send it to people, it will sound professional. It will sound good. It will be of good quality. Because what good is there in sending an audio file that people can't even hear what is being said, let alone understand what you're teaching? So it's important for you to actually access these softwares. They are for free. Download Audacity, install it on your PC, then start playing around with it. Record as much as you can. The good thing about Audacity as well is you can actually combine clips. You can also combine clips as well. And maybe you have a series of teachings whereby you were teaching, say, for 30 minutes, 4-part series. You can actually combine all those 4 clips and make it to be one full audio, maybe that you would want to store somewhere as a full audio for people who want to just have one single file, audio files, something like that. But you can work around with Audacity to put in some background music, an instrumental as you are doing your motivation for a minute or two, or as you're doing a short clip of a teaching, things like that, to at least have a connection between you and the people that you're teaching. Movie Maker does almost the same thing with what Audacity does, but for videos, not for audios. Then another good platform that you can make use of, a tool in actual fact, is the mobile money. For those who want to figure out how best they can actually navigate the way that they manage finances in this digital era, mobile money is one of the best tools to make use of. For a church, you can actually, I know in Eswatini, you can literally register with MTN register your church, and you have your own church account, of course, in the form of an MTN number. So that number becomes your account, and people can, give their offerings, give, pay their tithes or whatever contributions that they are bringing to the church. They can actually literally do it via mobile money. The good part about this is that mobile money as well has a statement, just like a bank. A bank account has a statement. You can have your own statement, assess, go through and see, identify what came in, what came out, and there's also a listing of who sent what, because the name of the mobile account that they would have used to send that mobile money would be reflected as well on your statement. So it also helps you with the financial records management part of things, because you have your statement from mobile money. You can actually access this on the app or online. There are several ways of doing that. Mobile money is a good tool to make use of. You also have another tool. Remember, we're talking of before the pulpit, web host app. This is one of the apps that I really like, whereby you can be able to design a website for your church for free, but of course, it's more convenient to use. The good part about this is you don't even pay for hosting fees. You don't even pay for anything. You just access web host app, and then you create your account, and you can create, I would advise you create a simple website. Create a simple website so that you don't find your site crashing at times or anything like that. I've experienced it before, but trust me, for a simple site, 3-page site for a church, for example, you can actually, go a long way in directing people to that page so that they can, read your articles as a church, or maybe engage with you one way or another. So it's a good way of having some form of presence online. What it also helps with is that when you are Googled, when someone Googles your church, they can actually find that site. So you can have that site directing people as well to your social media pages, giving people contacts and things like that. But I would use it, for a perspective of at least having a profile, some presence online as a church, and also some blog facility. The other tool that I have listed here, an obvious one, WhatsApp and Zoom. Before the pulpit, particularly, you have to use these platforms for your meetings with your teams, with your people. Like now, WhatsApp actually have the video facility having been improved recently. You can actually now do an 8-people call, if I'm not mistaken. You can do an 8-people call on WhatsApp. So that's convenient for a committee, for a team, at least which has at 8 people and less. You can actually have your own video call and connect with your team. You can also use Zoom. I love Zoom. I use Zoom. I'm using Zoom right now. That's what I use for my coaching sessions. That's what I use for my online training and digital sessions. Zoom is very convenient for your teams to interact and to connect. And if you want to even train your teams, you can train your teams through Zoom as a platform. But there's another tool that I've listed here called Gather from Disciplesoft, which is being offered for free. In the next session, we're going to be talking more about that and giving you links to access this platform, this tool as well. Now, Gather is very crucial in that this is now, from an administrative perspective, before the pulpit, it helps you to put in place your database for your congregants, to have a member database, a membership database, whereby who your members are, how many men, how many women, how many children, and you have some background, basic information in terms of contacts and all of that, creating a literal database for your church. Most churches know they need that, but the challenge is they don't know, they don't have access to something that is affordable or something that is convenient for them. And trust me, Gather is a convenient platform for you. The good part about it is you don't have to ask people to write things on a form, send it to you, then you input the things on the platform. You can actually send them a link of the app. They can download the app, register themselves, and it appears straight on your side as the administrator or the pastor on your back end, which would be the administrative back end. So Gather is crucial for creating your church database. Now, moving from before the pulpit, we go on to pulpit ministry. So on pulpit ministry, various tools as well. You have your Facebook, very popular now. Most people are actually using Facebook for their Sunday live streams and midweek live stream sessions services, which is all good. But you need to appreciate one key thing. There's an aspect of underutilization as well of Facebook for most people, because what I have seen is that most people engage with their congregants only on Sunday or once during the week, maybe a Sunday and another day during the week, of which you can actually utilize Facebook to engage with your congregation and your community at large on a daily basis. When it comes to digital ministry is not done once or twice a week. Ministry is literally done on a daily basis. It is formal, informal, simple, and in every way that you would want to put it. So you have to mix up the way that you engage and connect with your congregants. Definitely one big tool that is available as well for pulpit ministry is the WhatsApp platform. So you can make use of the WhatsApp tool to send audio recordings of your sermon, to send whatever designed graphics that are ministering to people. You can send even literal typed in messages, like the sermon in itself having been typed in. You can send it to your congregants via WhatsApp. But it's also important to make use of video conferencing software, particularly where you have seminars or a conference as a church. You can use the likes of Zoom, like we mentioned earlier on, to actually have a conference on that platform, and everyone connects with whoever would be preaching, speaking, and teaching the people. You also have, for pulpit ministry, you also have platforms such as Video Psalm and Worship Extreme. These are for projecting your scriptures, projecting your songs, and things like that. Video Psalm actually has a lot of functions, and it's for free. It's for free. Worship Extreme as well can be accessed for free. Your Zoom, you can have access for it for free. Of course, there are options to upgrade it, but there are functions that you can access for free. Same thing with WhatsApp, same thing with Facebook. Same thing with all the before the pulpit tools that I've mentioned, right? Of course, some platforms like Canva, you have the free option, but you can also have an option to upgrade. Trust me, the free option is good enough. Your web host app, free, but you can also have an option to upgrade. But as you are beginning, learning, trying to at least have a presence online, web host app is the best. The free option is the best option. Remember, no hosting fees, no domain name fees. Of course, you don't have your customized domain name. You have a subdomain name that is under the web host app. So, but at the end of the day, you are accessible online. Let's move on to the third section, which is beyond the pulpit. Now, beyond the pulpit, some of the tools that you can use, once again, just like under pulpit ministry and before the pulpit, is the video conferencing software. So you can make use of these tools. Now, for beyond the pulpit, because what happens beyond the pulpit is more of discipleship work. You are more of trying to disciple people, to take people through their next step phases, to grow people, to equip them, so that they can grow. Now, video conferencing softwares like Zoom, for example, can really work well for live group meetings or cell group meetings. They can really work well for, even besides life group and cell group, any other small group like men's ministry, women's ministry, youth ministry. People can actually make use of these tools for them to actually connect no matter where they are, right? You remember, like back in the days, because most people I know, they think this is just necessary for the period that we're in, where we have a crisis and we can't meet. But still, back in the day, there are times where a person would have traveled. they are in another country or in another city. They really wanted to be part of the small group meeting for women or for men. But because the only way that they can learn and connect to it is offline, there's no way that they could connect with that. Now, the good thing about now technology is that you can actually have this being done online so that people can actually still meet as women, still meet as men, still meet as youth, which is very necessary for fellowship and discipleship. They can still do so online in the comfort of their homes. Maybe when someone is in another country, in another city, they can still connect and fellowship with the brethren and still commune and learn from one another through these tools. So these tools are very crucial as well beyond the pulpit. You obviously have your social media, whereby after the service, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're posting clips of the sermon. You are throwing in questions, trying to engage people, reconnecting them with what they learned, what they were taught on Sunday. So you use the various social media platforms, your Facebook, your WhatsApp, your Instagram, use all those platforms thoroughly. Then for the sake of at least trying to minimize the list that I have, Survey Monkey. This is one good platform of which is available for free. This is a good platform for you to engage with people and assess their progress in what they are doing. Let's say, for example, if they're part of a live group, you can throw in a questionnaire here and there, maybe every month or every quarter, and try to ask particular questions from the people in a particular live group, how they are progressing in their growth, how they are taking the lessons, how they are connecting with what's being taught. You're trying to see their pace of growth, if they're even growing. You're trying to see what they connect with, what they align with, what they are more interested in terms of how you are ministering to them. So this helps you to engage people more and be able to work with them and understand them better for the sake of you getting to a point of ministering to them more effectively. So all these tools are available. I think 99%, if not 100% of what I have put in there is for free. All you need to do as a minister, as a leader, is to utilize these tools that have been given by these great designers, these great people who have actually made them accessible to all of us. So I want to encourage you, if you are going to utilize your church resources, this aspect of utilizing the tools that are available is where you need to start off from. Definitely start off by utilizing your gadget. Utilize your laptop, utilize your phone. Look into your phone. What functions are you not using at the moment? Is there an opportunity of actually you propelling the work of ministry through those apps, through those particular functions on your mobile gadget, on your laptop? How best can you use internet? How best can you use your gadgets? How best can you use available apps as listed on the screen? Available apps that you don't have to pay for. How best can you utilize them? I hope this lesson has been very much edifying to you. And I want to just remind you that we're still doing our virtual coaching sessions. We have 4 core areas that we're doing coaching sessions for. We have an area of helping you how to structure your church, an area, or rather restructure your church, and an area of helping you establish your digital church, an area of helping you to navigate a church financial crisis, something that people have been struggling with in the past few months, and also an area of helping you grow a thriving and healthy church. So if you are interested in us helping you to reestablish yourself from a digital church perspective, or restructure your church, or navigate your church through this financial crisis, or even build and establish a growing and thriving healthy church, please contact us, inbox us, or contact us one way or another. If you are listening to this and you're not in Eswatini, you can send us a WhatsApp, and you'll see the details. If it's on video, you'll see the details of the WhatsApp. But if it's on audio on your side, please contact us on +268 78 615 701. That's +268 78 615 701. May God bless you. We look forward to connecting with you next time as we continue with this series of utilizing church resources. God bless you and enjoy your day.